Good evening. This is the week that I have experienced the most extreme news because I usually give news through TikTok. So every day I go on TikTok and give me the news. So the problem is when you are giving news every day, you encounter a lot of news. Many of the news people do not see them because men are buried in the bigger news. This week has been explosive with the news that the president has been throwing words back towards his opponents. Tumeona hii wiki mtukufu rais the President William Ruto akijibizana na wasi kama gina Kashagwa, akiwaambia wenye wamekuwa wauaji, wamekuwa bad people in the society. At the same time, Kashagwa is happy ama anafurahia venye president anarudi back ama ana go down to his level. So all this time when Kashagwa was trying to insult Ruto, alikuwa anajaribu kumbring down to his level, ndio akifika hapo chini waanze kumenyana. So you might ask yourself, how did we reach here? Let me give you some backstory. Now, on the backstory, hii wiki nime come across a story yenye imenienlighten a lot about how people grow. During childbirth, unaonanga mtoto akizaliwa, the parents are happy, are full of hope. Wengi wana expect mtoto atakuja grow, akuwe mtu mzuri, asaidie, match some kind of standards that they have in their minds. But as the child grows, mtoto akiendelea kugrow and interact na environment, they interact with different people, ama pia they learn from their parents. Ndio maana unapatanga sometimes mtoto alizaliwa vizuri, the child grew well kutoka lower classes ama primary school akakuwa tu mzuri, ile time amekuwa under the watch of the parents. By the time mtoto anaenda high school, akifika form 2, anaanza kuinteract with very extreme people, watu wenye wanakaa kona freedom. So these people start learning different things. Pia unapatanga mtu mwenye anakaa ni kama ndiye anafunza how to do bad things, pia yeye anatry kulearn. So anatafuta clique of people when they are going to experiment on different things. So in high school, I think is where people try to experiment on very different things. And if you understand it well, the level of high school ndio kunakuwa watu wanakuwa sawa wanaanza kuingia in their teenage. So teenage is a very very extreme age for everyone. Unapata many people on their teenage, they are trying to experiment with everything that they can. Most of people start drugs when they are on their teenage, that is high school from form 2 upwards. Wengine they go into their teenage early. Unapata mtu akiwa class 7 ashaanza ku experiment with the drugs, pia depend with the environment. Kama your parents are drug users, unapata even at early age ushaanza ku experiment, because kama ni tuseme they are alcohol consumers, wakiacha chupa ya alcohol ikiwa na some little alcohol, you start taking it a little. So unaanza ku experiment. When you are brought up in a broken family, you try at least to correct the wrongs that you see that your family is going through. Kama ni you have been brought up in a single motherhood family, you are a boy, unajaribu to be as nice as possible to the women, because you can see your mother is suffering because your father is not there, ama the things that your father did to your mother. Kama bring you up in a broken family, neither the mother nor the father well, you try to overcompensate. So when ukipatana na watu wenye wako wanakaa they in a good family, you try to over socialize with them. They either teach you bad things ama they don't. But ukiona tu msemanya anakaa ni kama from a stable family, unajaribu kuwa clingy ndio uone what happens on the other side of the lane. So that's how people experiment. So I came across the news that kumekuwa na a boy in Kamprak High School mwenye alipatwa na alikuwa ameenda shule na vape. Hizo ni the e-cigarettes, hizi cigarettes zenye you carry an electronic cigarette yenye you can smoke for a very long time. Si kama hii ingine ya karatasi yenye when you smoke inaisha. That one you can smoke for a very long time. You can smoke at your own time. Unaweza washa uzime anytime, unaweza washa tu mara moja uzime, and then you carry it very comfortably without causing a lot of alarm. So when he was caught with that cigarette, akatuma back ama akapewa suspension. Now my question was, is this do we call this kind of behavior kona hii mtoto tunaenda kuitam as bad parenting ama a very unrealistic ama strict school policies? I would call it bad parenting because for one, these parents either wamekuwa lenient toward the boy and the boy has survived for a very long time making his man smoking cigarette to a point whereby haezi enda shule bila hizi cigarettes. Another side, I might not blame the parents. I might say that the parents are innocent. Huyu mtoto amejifunza, pia ukienda home amekuwa akijificha. Parents have never known about this behavior, so amekuwa akismoke all through na parents did not know. So we blame the boy, and so we could say that it is on the boy side of the failure. However, another side we can say it is extreme school policies, because how do you, ukipata mtoto akifanya kitu kama hiyo, instead of correcting the child, why should you just send them back home? That's something to discuss. So if you have kiwa na maoni on that, you can send your views. So when the parents, huyu mtoto venye alisuspendiwa akatuma home, the parents instead of discipline the child correct, na wakiona mtoto capable now to listen to the elders, that is the teachers, sent back to school, enda wengine na walimu, mtoto achukuliwe back. These parents wali presume kwenda kwa koti. So now this brings me back, is it now the parents failure? Because as a parent, ukipata mtoto wako anafanya makosa na anacorrectiwa na the society, because we always say that the child belongs to the society. The society is trying to correct this child not to go to the extreme side of the world. Now when you see that the child being corrected, you know, try to protect by all means possible, even including going to the court and forcing the school to take back the child. That means that the parents know the behavior of the child, and they are acknowledging that this child cannot change. You have just to accommodate them that way. Then another questions come to my mind. When you are young and you see big grown-ups smoking, you might assume that these people were born, they started smoking at a very young age, ama smoking to them was something that was very common. Hata maybe mtu alianza kusmoke akiwa hata primary school ama akiwa on their young age. So we assume that these people did not learn this thing as a bad behavior, ama si kitu yenye ilikuwa inakataza. But when you flashback ama you reflect, you find that these people are smoking at their old age, na imefanywa ikakuwa normalized because wameshakuwa watu wakubwa sasa at this point, na ni impossible for you to keep on policing them. And when they were starting smoking, either they were very secretive, wakahide that behavior, ama ni watu walijaribu correct as much as they can, but wakakataa kusikiza. So when you see these people, watu wakubwa, watu wako na very big levels, ama big class in the society, people are respected, when they are doing some weird stuff yenye tunakataza, utapata kuna watu kwa very big people in the society, but when they start like alcohol consumption, they consume alcohol to the extent that ni ile inaitwa irresponsible drinking. But tunapata you as a commoner in the society, when you start drinking, unaambiwa that drinking is bad, and then you are given the reasons for why drinking is bad. Now you ask yourself, how did these people reach here? Walifikaje hapo in a point whereby they can drink na wanakuwa acceptable to the society? Sometimes the society agrees with the people when they go to extremes. That's why you find that now when you look at the world right now, ukiangalia vitu zenye si wenyewe hatuwezi kubali zifanyike to us, that is the lack of democracy. Zile countries zenye hazina democracy but they look like they are flourishing, now we are clapping for them. But the countries that have democracy but they are not as well performing as those non-democratic countries, so we try to start now hating the democratic space. Tunasema afadhali hata tukue na the extreme side, but at the same time tukue tunapata development. So at some point when the ile vitu mbaya zikifanyika for a very long time na watu wanakaa ni kama wame adapt to that system, ama wanakaa ni kama wanajaribu kuzoea hiyo system, unapatanga inakaa easier for them hata kama ni ngumu aje. People are built ama they are created to adapt to different things. So this is the same now. When I look at this boy, he might be learning this smoking behavior right now. Their parents are standing with them. So mtoto juu mzazi amekubali kusimama na yeye akaenda hadi kwa court. So nilikuwa nauliza ni, now when this child is now accepted back to school, how will the life of this boy be? Because for one, when you look at the people who are accepting the boy back, ni walimu. Hao walimu ndio watakuwa wanasomesha kijana. How will the relationship between the teachers and the boy be? So I also ask, how will the relationship between this boy and the other students look like? When the boy goes back to school, some students wanaweza kataa kuassociate with this one because wanaona ni bad influence to them. But some wenye walikuwa chini ya maji wanataka kuharibika, they will try as much as possible to associate with him because anajaribu kuwasoi towards being now the bad people. So let us look at how this affects the boy now in school. So when the teachers are interacting with this boy, most of these teachers, because they have been following the saga in court and everything, the parents trying to force the boy to go back to school, they might not be as open to accept the boy back. So will the relationship between the teachers and the boy be very, very good? Itakuwa sawa kweli ama itakuwa constricted? Pia ni kitu tunafaa kudiscuss pale. Now let us go back to the way our society ama our people on the top echelon are acting. Ukiona msee kama President William Ruto na Gachagua wakirushiana matusi, sometimes they speak in a way that you ask yourself, how did we reach here? Unajiuliza tulifika hapa aje? Wanatukanana on air, wanaitana majina zenye hata huwezi expect. They even go overboard. Wanaanza kutoa siri zenye wenyewe ndio wangekuwa najua, wangekaa nazo hata atungejali hata kujua. So we ask ourselves, how did we reach here? Because when these people are going to the podium, wakiingia kwa siasa, wanakaa watu wenye wametulia nini, but when they go in, things change. When you listen to, ukisikiza mtu mwenye sahi ajaingia kwa siasa, just take for instance, look back to watu wenye walikuwa wanaingia kwa politics, very new, very clean, very innocent. Before waingia walikuwa wanakaa watu innocent, watu presentable, watu wenye hata they cannot hawezi umiza hata inzi. But once they go inside there, they become change kabisa na kuwa different. What happens? Now let us talk about what happens in those places ama in the politics side, where people when they go there they change totally ama wana change kabisa, and most of them become untouchable. Unapatanga mtu ameingia kwa politics, alikuwa a good person as the thing started, but when they go inside, they see how things happen. Now don't get me wrong, there are good politicians, but when you look at the most famous politicians, tutapata wengi ni drug baron, most of them are drug barons, ni watu wenye wanatumia drugs, even zile the hard drugs, ni watu wenye hata they cannot hawezi ambilika hata vitu zenye ni mzuri, ni watu wenye hata wamejikubali tu they are going to waste. But how did they possibly get there, ama how did they possibly achieve to convince us to vote for them and to accept them as our leaders? When you look at watu wenye you consider as the bad people in the society, those are the people mtu mwenye mkikaa naye chini, they can say, wanaweza kuuzia sera, they can sell you their policies hadi ukubali useme wenyewe, I can see that is something that is going somewhere. Only when they start talking about what they are going to do for you, watakueleza kila kitu, hata they even go to easy extremes, because ni watu even they don't care about the consequences. Ani watu watakwambia hata vitu zenye haziwezi fanyika, and they explain to you as if ni kitu yenye itaenda kufanyika. Ama wakwambia vitu zenye wako sure kabisa hizo ni vitu wataenda kufanya. Ni mtu atakwambia, mimi ukinichagua kama president, Say kwanza naenda ku get rid of all the corruption, naenda ku change 1 2 3 hadi unaona yenyewe akaweza fika tu hata half of what he's promising, this country will change. But these people do not even make it to that point. Because why? Ani watu wenye when they are giving this promise they don't mean it, they don't care about it. Ni kama tu umse mwenye nimekuambia when you are growing up ukiwa mtoto innocent, ukiwa young, ulikuwa unaona mtu mwenye ana smoke, unaona yenyewe wase juasha mkubali kwa society, huyu ni mse mwenye smoking is not as bad to them as we are told, ama kwake si baya. But for me, I cannot start smoking because naambiwa 1 2 3 it's bad of the smoking. But these leaders, because sawa shatuzoea sisi kama citizens, they can do anything that they want. Wanaweza enda kutukanana huko, we clap for them. Wanaweza enda wafanye vitu zenye wanataka. They can even go and kill people, but tomorrow we'll be clapping for them. So when you look at the ecosystem and the environment that we live in, the more tunajaribu ku accommodate people, the more we are making them more adaptive, ama more protected, ama more impenetrable to what the society expects them to do. Unapata mse mna expect aende a change even the system of education ikuwe a better system, but since changing the education system it will affect their business, this person even oppresses the education system more ndio apate hiyo pesa. But akikuja waambie mimi nilipata hii education system ikiwa mbaya, so I am trying to change it, na mnaona tu kabisa that person is not doing anything, you clap and mnasema nyewe mse alipata ikiwa hivyo, so hata akiwacha hivyo haiko mbaya. Ni kama sasa when you tell people about how Ruto is bad, how Ruto is leading Kenya towards the bad direction, unauliza sasa unatuambia Ruto ni mbaya, mbona mkutuambia venye Uhuru alikuwa mbaya? So it's like no, since their predecessors were bad, we should also accept bad leadership now. That's why I tell people that when you are looking for leaders, hata afadhali we recycle the leaders as fast as we can. Kila mtu hata akaa hapo ta mmoja, siku moja tutaangukia mtu mmoja na tumrecycle for as long as we can. But as long as tukiweka mtu is not fulfilling our needs, tusimweke hapo kabisa. So let us try to work in a society that can yenye inaweza punish the wrong, yenye ina reward the right. Ndio pia tusikae kwa system yenye ina oppress wale watu wanafanya vitu mzuri na they are being punished. Wanapunish watu wenye wanafanya vitu mzuri, then wana reward watu wanafanya vitu vibaya. Tusikue tu kwa ile society ya ndio upate deal lazima tuende tupatane kwa club. Usikue your fellow people who do the bad things together and you wanataka ku take over every aspect of the society, then the good people wanakaa ni kama ndio wako the lowest in society. We can even build a society whereby the good people ndio wana run the system and the bad people wanaona kivumbi. So tujaribu ku accept that our society needs change na we try to change it. So for me, what I can say from hiyo story nimewapea hiyo news ya the students na Kabarak mwenye alipata na vape na akatumwa home, wazazi wakatake step, wakaenda kwa koti, wakalazimisha school to take back the child. If I was the parent, the first thing I will do was first to sit down with the child, tusikizane, nijue shida mtoto iko wapi, why can't you just go to school ulearn, na after ushamaliza masomo ama ukishamaliza hiyo stage ya masomo yenye una deal na walimu wa high school, you can go and continue smoking if you want. Ama ukishafika 18 you can go and start smoking because hapo ushakuwa adult, na si lazima usikize that I'm telling you. But as long as you're under 18, no smoking, hakuna kufanya vitu mbaya, hakuna kuiba. Zile vitu nakwambia ndio hizo. As a parent you have to listen to me because hakuna otherwise. Mimi ndio mzazi wako na lazima unisikize. So as parents, unless that child is coming from an extremely broken family, then they have to do whatever the child wants. Ama child akwe tu ama juu Ikiwa huyo mtoto amecome from a very broken family, na the only way for the child to survive is to do these many different things, and child should be told good manners from the word go. Ndio mtoto hata ile siku ataanza kuharibika semange yenyewe wazazi wangu walijaribu, walinionyesha the way, mimi ndio nilideviate. Watoto hata ikuwa na chance ya kublame mzazi, hata ikuwa na chance ya kublame the society, but as long as the parent is shielding the child from being corrected, this child atafika mahali angalia back, look back, aone enyewe wazazi ndio walinikatazana na the right path yenye nilikuwa nafunzwa, na because of that all the blame I will lay on them. Na parents watakuwa na way ya kujitetea, so what I have to absorb all the blame, na maybe hata child akienda kuperish ataperish na hiyo word. This is on my parents because they did not teach me the way. So as parents, let us teach the children the right way, and let us try to make sure that they follow the right path. And pia akifika huko mbele hata mtu akichange na anza kufanya vitu zenye hazieleweki, ikuwe it's on them, because once mtu amefika 18 years, they do not need the approval from the parent. They can do whatever they want. Life, maisha ni yao, wanaweza fanya chenye wanataka. So before then, we should tell them what to do. So kama mtoto ameenda shule, now the police of the school do not allow, let your children be punished. Let them feel the punishment. The next time they are doing something wrong, they can remember that last time I was punished, I'm not trying to do this. Also because the problem is, mtoto akirudi shule, kuna ule mtoto alikuwa anaogopa kufanya kitu because anajua the punishment will be ruthless. So when this child goes back to school, influence mtoto mwingine sasa, na mtoto mwingine pia atakuwa ruthless. So this one soul has claimed another soul. Now that soul can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you are responsible for around 6 souls because umejaribu kuprotect mtoto wako from the systems ama from the right systems, but you may influence other souls. So all the blood in the hands of these souls will be on you. So as parents, let us teach our children on how to grow well, ama wakai in the right system, and maybe one day they will thank us. So I hope that with that said, we can try to create a better society for us, our children, and our children's children. Otherwise, have a nice time, and thank you for watching.